In 1885, a young woman was discovered dead on the banks of the Seine River in France. She had drowned, and as custom was, they took her to the police station and put the body on display so anyone who had reported a missing persons in their life could come and view the body and see if this checked out with the person they were missing. This goes on long enough to where body's becoming a problem. Nobody's claimed the body. But through the magic of rigor mortis at the right moment, she was kind of smiling. And then when you add embalming to the moment, this woman was frozen in time with a somber yet smiling. She accidentally in death became a work of art and accidentally became a tourist attraction to the people in France. So once the body could no longer be kept at the police station, it got moved to a cathedral where more and more, there were lines out the door every morning to view the unknown woman of the Seine. I don't know how to pronounce that in French. That's her actual title in the zeitgeist. I don't know how to say it. You fucking learn French. You go figure that out. But the body had gotten to the point where nobody had claimed her, and it was time to do something with the corpse. Also, at the time, this is the Victorian era that we're getting into now, death masks were a super popular thing. Not only because, anyway, the body starts to go, nobody's claimed it, you make a death mask. That's on record. This is before photography had become a huge thing. So now you've got a visual record of who this person was before you have to inter the body in some shape or form. It also happened to coincide with this super weird, quirky trend in the Victorian era where death masks became a popular decoration in people's homes. If you've got the means, you buy one of these cast molds of these people's faces. This particular one, because of the combination of the somberness of obvious death, but the smile that just got frozen in this weird kind of way, it was stunning and beautiful, and it became a big hot commodity, not only to have a death mask hanging in your parlor room, but this particular death mask, you had to have the unknown woman of the Seine. If you were anyone at all, this is the one. This is the one you had. Fast forward a couple of decades, you've got this Swiss doctor who invents CPR, because I can't remember who it was. His brother, maybe? I don't know. Somebody drowned. He haphazardly went through a series of motions that brought the son of a bitch back from life. You know, the whole all of it. CPR. Kind of really dialed that in, came up with a course that becomes CPR as we know it. So the whole situation, he and his contemporaries are like, hey, you know what would really help is some sort of doll or dummy that we could practice on. So they make one. And they're like, hey, this doll has to have a face because, you know, it's not just the chest compressions. A portion of this is the pinch the nose, breathe into the mouth. There has to be a face. Immediately his mind goes to this mask that has been hanging in his family's house as long as he's known. Because they were a family of means, there was always this death mask hanging in their home. Pulls it off the wall, has a cast made, turned into latex rubber to put on the dummy that everybody's gonna chest compress, pinch the nose, breathe in, the whole thing. That's CPR. Calls it resuscitation, which is where we get resuscitation. Colloquially in America, it's Rescue Annie. Fast forward a few more decades, a young pop artist named Michael Jackson is taking CPR lessons. And they give him a scenario where he wanders across the dummy, because that's the best way to teach people. You can't just be like, hey, do ABC. Here's the scenario you're walking into. This is why you have to do ABC. You know, like, this is Annie, and she needs to be rescued. she's been hit by, she's been struck by a smooth criminal. And now that he's moved on, she's left in the street to die, and you've wanted to cross her. What do, Michael? And he pumps and he checks the pulse and he says, Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Because you have to check to see if the victim is responsive before you perform CPR. And that's how we got Smooth Criminal.